If you do this as part of your workout, you're going to be limiting your muscle growth, not enhancing it.
They really act like they're like going to be going like 5 rounds of MMA fighting in this movie, but this is just not it.
Coach Greg, and I'm here with Eric Janicki, and we're going over Jake Gyllenhaal's workout. We're going to see, is this guy actually natural? Is he enhanced? Does he actually do this workout? Is this just for show? Is this like a rock workout? Is this a bikini girl workout? Should you do this workout? And so if you want to know if this is the kind of training you should do in your own training, then this is the video for you.
And it's Men's Health, so it's got to be good stuff, right?
Right, yeah. And we're being sarcastic as, what's that guy, what's his name? Let me just think of the guy's name.
Eddie Abu, it's shit.
10 million followers. He is. I got in trouble defending him. I don't remember his name.
All right, sick.
My editing team will know exactly what to put for that.
And I'm being sarcastic. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Jason Walsh. I'm coming to you from my studio Rise Movement in Los Angeles, California, and to talk to you about Jake Gyllenhaal and the training that we did for Roadhouse.
So Jake needed athleticism, resiliency, and overall strength.
All right, so we needed functional muscle. We needed, obviously, him to look shredded, jacked. I think obviously what people don't understand, you're always going to look bigger on camera, especially when you're not next to people. So the biggest thing is about being conditioned. So we'll take that as one of our largest considerations when watching this.
And my personal opinion is the training should be the training. To build muscle, you want to maximize that when you're training. Functionality, and if you're going to be a fighter and if you're going to do UFC stuff or boxing or anything, that's something separate from the weight room. I don't personally think that every exercise should mimic a punch. Like, you shouldn't be holding a 5-pound dumbbell and punching with it to think, oh, that's going to make me more versatile as an athlete. I think you train to train, and then when you do all this other stuff, that's separate from the workout. So we'll see if they actually
I have a weird feeling there's going to be some dumbbell punching going on.
We'll see.
I haven't seen this yet, but let's watch.
Generally, we spend a few minutes each session moving, trying to get the core body to mature up before moving into some sort of mobility, which you see here with the stick, which is a great tool to help increase range of motion.
All right, let's hear it. What do you got?
All right, this is nonsense. This is nonsense. He says we're going to increase the core temperature by doing some weird stretches on a stick. Get on a bicycle, get on a treadmill, go for a jog, go for a walk. Move the body, get your heart rate up. Do this flexibility stuff after. So this nonsense, already I'm giving it an F. That's not a warm-up.
All right. It's coming in hot. Yeah, I think static stretching is usually better when the body's warm towards the end of your training session. Obviously, for me, when you're training, you should be working out the muscle, like warming up the muscle groups that you're actually going to be training. So if let's say you're working out, if you're training back, I want to see you training like some small sets, warm-up sets for your back specifically. So if you're gonna start with, let's say, a pull-down movement, I'd love to see you do 1, 2, 3 sets of pull-downs. You could even start with a 5-minute incline treadmill walk to get a little sweat going, get the body primed for exercise, but this is just not it.
Proteus is an amazing piece of equipment used mostly by performance centers to help train athletes in every plane of motion. We use it primarily for priming the nervous system, proprioception, learning movement patterns, and a lot for warming up joints and metabolic training.
All right, priming the nervous system, this is all like bullshit. Like, if you're training for hypertrophy to build, or in his case, probably retain as much muscle as possible in this caloric deficit, he's trying to get shredded. What we need to do is be as muscle protective as possible. This is a type of explosive training that's high output, high CNS tax, is not going to build muscle. It's not going to make you faster by any means. It's just a way to make it seem cooler with this crazy device. But at the end of the day, it's, in terms of when you're in the gym, you need to be maximizing hypertrophy or muscle retention, in my opinion.
Yeah, that machine looked cool. It's probably worth tens of thousands of dollars, and it looks cool. You're going to build muscle specifically in that motion. You're way better off doing a bench press and then doing 30 minutes of boxing practice after this. This is ridiculous, trying to combine the two. You're not going to build nearly as much muscle by just doing like 30% of your max weight and just repping it out with explosive power. This is not it.
Isometrics are a staple here at Rise Movement.
We started off with some cardio, which inevitably what it's going to do is dip into your glycogen source. When you're training, you want to use your muscle glycogen, which is this basically source of energy we use when you train. It's your basically muscles energy, basically battery pack, right? And so if you start draining your battery pack with twisting and doing all this explosive movement, inevitably you're going to be taxed when it comes to actually moving weight with control, with hypertrophic, obviously, goals. So at this capacity, like by doing it like this, you're just going to hinder your ability to train effectively after this, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's taking away from his workout. He's actually making it harder to go hard. If you do all this cardio and this explosive stuff beforehand, you'll have less energy, you won't be able to push as hard, you'll get less muscle, and the goal should be to have the muscle. You can do this stuff after.
Isometrics are a staple here at Rise Movement. We use them all the time to help increase strength and stamina at different joint angles.
All right, isometric holds, I mean, there could be a decent amount, let's say if you're doing a tricep push down, quad extension. It's not a terrible thing to add, but as we know, stretch bias is gonna be pausing in a stretch position. Under load is gonna be much more efficacious than pausing in an isometric position. Also, you should be focusing much more on the eccentric, meaning the negative portion of a movement, than you are on an isometric hold. Isometric holds, I think, are probably like a D tier type of technique. They're really, really heavily used in like celebrity workouts, kitschy workouts. I mean, that's why, you know, isometric holds are highly used in, let's say, Pilates. Are you gonna be building a ton of muscle in Pilates? Are you gonna, no, you may be improving core strength, mind muscle connection, but you're not gonna be building muscle. So for me, it's not a very good way to be using your time in the gym.
Yeah, think of it. Can you build muscle doing this? Yes, so think of it. I hold myself here and I flex. I hold myself here
Look at that
and I flex.
vascularity, bro. Can we please just get a like close-up of
And
that?
so if we keep doing this,
That's all I can think
it's
about.
going to work, but it's twice the work of doing an actual curl. So yeah, why do this when you can just do that? It's just a slower, more time-consuming, more difficult way of getting jacked.
I'm blown away by your vascularity just sitting here.
I think it's from those carbs, those wraps.
Whatever it is, just keep doing it.
I'm not gonna lie, it's from this.
What is it, Acti Builder?
It could be, I don't know.
Or did you take your G
I did take
Max?
3 of these and 3 of these today.
Oh, wow.
It certainly makes me drier in the gym. Like for me, Turk Builder, and I'm not bullshitting. If you're lean and you take this, you're gonna look leaner in a day. It absolutely gets your body more shredded, more jacked than last time.
Get it out. Get it out.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Get to
Why
it.
is there so many packaging in here?
I take 3 a day now. I worked up to it. It says 1 to 2. I started with 1, went to 2.
I want to just be Coach Greg.
I did 3. Don't take it before bed. You won't sleep.
Great.
It's hardcore, and don't take it if you're a teenager. It's for older people.
Like us.
Most of the sets that we do are time sets. We try to keep his work capacity up, keep him moving, keep him sweating, keep burning fat. We still want the heavy stimulus, so we do a lot of heavy sled work.
Is he acting like The Rock? They're great actors. He's on a sled and he's just pushing a sled. This is your workout. You paying what, $1,000 an hour to get trained, and he puts weights on the sled and you push it across a rug.
I mean,
are there nothing better you can do?
So this is the biggest distinction that you can always get from a Hollywood workout versus like real training. Stick to strength training with good, solid movement patterns that are known to build muscle. Squats, split squats, leg press, pendulum, vertical leg press, quad extension, hamstring curls, RDLs. There's 1,000,001 great leg exercises that are not sled pushing, because what you have to think is you might get some good glute drive with a sled push, but you're really getting very minimal knee flexion. You're not getting much stretch out of the quad. You're not getting almost any hamstring activation whatsoever. It's a performative exercise in order to get views, but it's really not gonna help you build muscle in any way. What they're trying to do is burn calories. What I would suggest is a really finite full body workout that's like, say 40 to 60 minutes, and then he can do some boxing training, which would help increase his skill, would burn calories, and do the cardiovascular that they're trying to do. But now he's just doing these performative exercises, which then is gonna take away, if he tries to do some boxing training, he's gonna be so exhausted, probably not gonna be very good at that either. So it's just a lose-lose at this point.
Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, stress, adapt, recover, on repeat for well over a year. That's discipline, that's patience, that's commitment.
And so if you want to go in an ice bath after your workout and reduce the amount of inflammation and not allow you to build as much muscle, then that's great. But if you're actually trying to get jacked, the ice baths, they're not going to help you at all, and in fact, they'll make it worse.
Yep, so proven time and time again. Shout out to Dr. Mike, who for debunking this, and for a lot of other people.
Huberman has also said this. Separated by at least 4 hours, because the inflammation when you lift weights is actually one of the things that cause your muscles to grow. And so if
you don't want to
reduce it
right after your
you're
training,
not going to grow.
We always keep the heavy primitive work one way, shape, or form, whether it's squats or deadlifts, variations thereof. We want to keep the muscle coordination at a high.
You want to keep muscle coordination at a high.
Heavy primitive movements.
Heavy primitive safety bar squats, blast your legs without challenging shoulder mobility. I mean, that's
Safety bar squats are great. I have this machine, or whatever you want to call it, bar at my house. I think it's a great exercise to do. I'd highly recommend it. Way better than pushing a sled. Do you notice that Hollywood actors, they basically do your like home workout? Like basically they'll combine what you do at your house. Vacuuming and firewood cutting and like moving boxes from one house to the next. Like, hey, you wanna get in a great shape? I'm moving out of my house, help me move. Move my couch, my boxes, carry it out, climb up the stairs, run around. Like these workouts seem like they're just at home doing stupid shit. Like just go to the gym and lift weights.
Grip work is essential as it seems to be one of the limiting factors in the gym. We pepper in various exercises to keep grip tight.
It's a complete waste of time for me.
Personally, like forearms for me are something that I get hit a lot when I'm doing back trainings because you have a lot of, even I use what's called Cobra grips, or kind of like a Versa grip. But even with those, with the amount of time under tension I use, I get so much forearm training. That's why forearms are absolutely ludicrous. I don't think there's something that you should really focus on. Maybe isolating, if you're gonna isolate them, reverse curls for me are the king. Go up to the top, get it slow on the negative, strong wrist. That's gonna really blow up your forearms way more than this movement, but
This is a waste of time.
Here we see some examples more relatable to MMA training, keeping the body in check with offset loading and movements more imperative to sport.
If you do this as part of your workout, you're going to be limiting your muscle growth, not enhancing it. Like compared to nothing at all, sure, it's better than doing nothing. But if you said this versus a squat or a hack squat or a leg press, there's no way this is as good as that.
My favorite thing about this is like they really act like they're like gonna be going like 5 rounds of MMA fighting in this movie, like legit, like they're actually going to be fighting. I think there's some efficacy for, like, let's say I won't really break down, for example, like an MMA fighter's workout because I don't really understand that, but this, he's just trying to look good for the role. So like jumping over a bag, it's not really, it might improve some conditioning, but at the end of the day, what he should be doing, resistance training with good form, good range of motion, and then doing some sort of low intensity, low cortisol type of cardio in order to retain as much muscle as possible. Because what people don't talk about, when you do a ton of HIIT, when you do a ton of CNS taxing type of HIIT cardio like this, it's going to inevitably burn through more muscle, even at the same deficit as doing some zone 2, low intensity, low cortisol, incline walking, even walking outside at a decent pace, very low intensity, let's say cycling, something like that is gonna burn fat in the same manner with less cortisol being the stress hormone. So this type of training is probably not conducive to looking your best. Maybe it's fun, maybe you enjoy it. If you like doing boot camp classes, I'm not saying don't do them, it's good for your heart health, gets your heart rate up. But if you're trying to maximize your time in the gym, maximize your muscle building potential, this is just not gonna be the way to train.
It's important to keep the stimuli broad with variations of reps, sets, loads, and different tempos.
Floor press is fucking waste of time. You're limiting your range of motion even more so than a bar.
If you're desperate, then
you're limiting your range of motion, because here is as deep as you can get, and then to here. That's literally the least efficacious for muscle building. As we know, getting that stretch position, so hugely important.
this would be great if his goal was to be a power lifter and he was working the lockout of the tricep at the top of the motion. That's it. Power lifter, workout, that's the only reason you would do this. Or you had absolutely no gym equipment at home and that's the best you could do.
You can have a great trainer, a great program, great team. None of this matters if you don't have the right person to do it all.
And chain push-ups with it around your waist.
Chain push-ups. He's a multi-millionaire. We're gonna do chain push-ups.
It's just for the video, man.
I mean,
it's just,
come to my house and help me move. I got a couch to move. Is that a great workout? I got to vacuum, clean, do this, clean up,
Mike,
hold.
I'm sure Mike ripped this one to shreds, but if you put the weight around your waist, you're not really adding any emphasis and weight bearing to the actual muscle group that's working.
It should be over your shoulders. I mean, come on.
But you don't really want to add chains.
That's the best that you can do. Like, it's discouraging to think that a high-level trainer would have him do this.
If anything, you'd probably be better suited doing the deficit, push-ups in a deficit, so you can get even deeper on your rep, get more stretch bias.
Cross-lateral loading is very important to all sports, especially to MMA fight training. These come in various forms, but this is one of my favorites.
You're limited by how strong you are on one side, so just don't do this.
Anytime you're doing an exercise that is compound in the sense of you're trying to do multiple movement patterns in one swoop, meaning like, let's say like a renegade row is a perfect example, where you're doing like a push-up and then a row with dumbbells on the floor. Like, your limiting factor is going to be like, you're not going to be able to basically row as much as you could by having your dumbbells on the floor. It's going to be the major limiting factor. So, or like, let's say a curl to press, you can usually curl way more than you can press, or vice versa depending on the person. So you're going to, one of those things is going to be the limiting factor. So for this, he's doing some sort of pressing movement, probably way lighter than he'd be able to press with his chest, because we have an unbalanced plane. So he's using a lot of obliques, core, and that's the main thing that's getting taxed. He's pulling with the opposite arm. So sure, you're using a lot of muscle groups in one go, but not very effectively, not in a way that's going to really build muscle. It's just literally performative to burn calories.
I don't believe that he does this workout. I think Men's Health got 6.5 million views by pretending that this guy works out like this.
That's a good theory. I think that he's got so little development everywhere else on his body other than his abs. Like his arms aren't very impressive.
He looks natty.
His shoulders aren't very impressive. His chest is not very impressive. So I'm not surprised that this is the way he's training, because basically they're just trying to burn body fat off him. They're giving him different workouts that he doesn't get bored with, because maybe he would just get too bored getting on a treadmill.
Do you think he doesn't have like an actual workout where he goes in and does a bench press?
I think this is the shit he does.
He just does this.
He's got this fucking Hollywood trainer that has him doing this stuff. He probably thinks it's really fun.
Keep things in balance with push-pull rips.
It's unbalanced plane.
No.
You're pushing and pulling at the same time. You don't have fixed leverage points. You can't really like pull effectively or push effectively. You're just kind of doing both at once. There's no mind-muscle connection. It's just terrible. You can't make it up.
Followed by my favorite, some primitive climbing sprints to finish him off.
I can't watch it anymore, guys. It's fucking boot camp.
It's an F.
It's an F for
As
sure.
in, wake the up, like Eddie would say, and this is shit.
Yeah, and it's
That's
just
what
like,
Eddie should start reviewing workouts.
It's tough because like I think a lot of people think this is like how you work out, and especially it's tough because a lot of like people that have limited time to work out thinks this is the way to work out. And what's really going to happen is you're going to have a like 9-to-5 job. You maybe have kids. You watch this and you're like, wow, like that's how I should be working out. Now you're going to do this after a long day. You get just destroyed in 60 minutes, and then you go home and you try to be present for your family. You're CNS taxed. You've not built an ounce of muscle. You probably lost muscle during this training. It's very high cortisol. So you've got prolonged stress from your workday. You get super crazy acute cortisol from this insane workout where you're trying to kill yourself. You don't build any muscle. You're burning calories, but you're probably then gonna go home, be so hungry, and probably eat way more than you burn in that 60 minutes. It's pathetic. I feel bad for people. I don't feel bad for people. I feel bad for Men's Health for putting out misinformation like this, thinking like this is the way to get shredded. I'm not saying this is not how he trains. I'm not saying this isn't one way to do it. It's just the way they present information from these Hollywood trainers who say like this is the best way to like build muscle and get shredded at the same time. It's fallacy, it's myth, and it makes me kind of upset to even watch it.
Yeah, I tried up with those chicken, broccoli, and rice, do 2-a-day workouts, eat 5,000 calories on a bulk, and you get shredded and jacked for whatever superhero role you're in. And I feel like this is right up there with that kind of misinformation.
Yeah, so if you guys want real information, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Head over to the HCLT site for actual really amazing supplements. They were mentioning some BS crappy protein in the obviously video, but if you guys want the best supplements, especially GO2 Max Turk Builder, I just took that right now. I'm about to go crush some legs. Wish me luck. Also, I have some amazing stacks on there, and also I have a free training ebook, 12-week build muscle, less bullshit than this. Probably something I put a lot of work into it with movement patterns and exercises you can do in almost every commercial gym or gym in general. And it has a 3, 4, or 5 day training split, completely free. Go to the website, get that. And then if you're interested, I've got these amazing bundles for HCLT supplements. You get insane discounts on my bulking stack, my cutting stack, pre-workouts, whatever it is. We got crazy discounts for you. Go and check out the site.
And if you have no money, get a loan. No, I'm kidding. You can get a free diet and training program, become one of the 300,000 plus newsletter subscribers on the website. Don't forget about the cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team. You can get all this stuff on the website. Watch the bloops. And until next time, I'm out.